Welcome back, everybody, to the Rooted Lifestyle Podcast. We are your hosts, Camryn and Justus Woods.
Welcome back and happy Halloween weekend.
Ooh, Halloween weekend. So we were actually just talking about this yesterday. What do you do post-grad, pre-kids, animals for Halloween?
You sit on the couch
And watch Halloween Town?
and watch Harry Potter.
We watched that last night.
Yeah.
That was a really good choice.
And what do you do when you don't like scary movies? Because I can see that people who wanted to have like a scary movie marathon, we hate scary movies. So
Yeah. I used to like them, but I was like, not for me anymore.
you make Halloween desserts and then
So you're just saying what we did last
you
night.
go
We watched Harry Potter,
you go
Half-Blood
trick or
Prince.
treating with the little kids.
Guys, do you think people would notice if Justice and I put on a white sheet and dressed like ghosts? Do you think they would know that we were adults?
Probably, because most adults aren't 6'2". I mean, most kids aren't 6'2".
But you have your one kid, but you're also pretty filled, so I feel like they'd be able to see it.
I think people are smart enough to realize it.
Well, I'm gonna go do it.
Happy Halloween weekend, everybody. Hope this is a fun weekend. If you're watching it on Halloween, you could be watching it another time. But if you're watching it when we're airing this, it's Halloween weekend. So,
Well, Monday's not the weekend.
well, it's day before Halloween then.
We're filming this on Saturday, and so
Yeah.
we're saying happy Halloween weekend. But we hope you guys have a good Halloween. Everyone's safe. And I don't know about y'all, but Justice is traveling for work, so I'll be alone on Halloween, which makes me sad, but I'll just watch Hocus Pocus or something.
So awesome.
But we are not talking about Halloween today or
We're
anything
talking
in
about
regards
5
to.
tips to optimize your Halloween.
No. Okay, let's give them. Let's give 5 tips really quick. Dress up, eat tons of candy.
What? I don't
2
even know where I'm
tips.
going with this.
Dress up and eat tons of candy. Those are your 2 tips for Halloween. Okay, we need to stop.
But what are we actually talking about today?
We are going to be talking about optimizing your morning routine. So we did a previous podcast that was talking about nighttime and morning routines, but that one was more focused on health
Sleep.
and how you can optimize your sleep,
Yeah.
because it has to do with your morning and nighttime routines. This one, we're just going to be talking about morning routine and the habits you can build and all of those good things.
Yeah, it's more so from the perspective now of how do you use morning routines and the benefits of that to help push your day forward and help set you up for success during the day, rather than the routines that kind of help you to sleep. Because I know that we had mentioned before, so for morning routines, getting sunlight and all that can kind of help move you into that phase of sleepfulness to wakefulness and kind of help with that circadian rhythm.
Yes.
To get into that cycle of getting tired later on in the day. But not as much biology talk this time.
Definitely
it's more so just our morning routines, what we do, and how we've seen those routines benefit us later on.
Absolutely. So having a routine in our eyes is very helpful. So you can come at it from the perspective of a lot of doctors, if they have a patient who is depressed, either postpartum depression or just anything like that, people are advised to do things to plan their next day of okay, this is going to get you out of bed in the morning. So what's going to get you out of bed in the morning in the sense of, for myself, when I have a good morning routine, I'm I'm excited to do this. I'm looking forward to it. And so having a routine is really, really helpful. And there's numerous physically and physiological and so many benefits, such as reducing stress, improving sleep, increasing productivity, and all of that good stuff.
Yeah, it's both physical and psychological benefits to having routines. And as you were saying before, having that structure, it gives you a sense of control and gives you a sense of power over your day, and that part of your day could be the most control that you have. And it's controlling what you can control kind of helps you take ownership over certain circumstances or situations that you may be in life. But
exactly, because you're not in control of your life, obviously, but the one thing you can control is mostly, unless you have a dog or a kid or a weird circumstance, but you can control pretty much when you wake up, set an alarm, whatever, and just making the choice of okay, I'm gonna have a good morning routine, and even if the rest of the day is not good, I know that this morning will be good because I'm gonna do what I can to control it, and it'll just be good start to the morning.
And I know that some people are saying, well, Justice and Camryn, I'm not a morning person. And
fair. That's fair.
I don't care. No, I'm kidding.
Well, become one.
Yeah.
You weren't.
Honestly, that's what I was going to say. I wasn't a morning person either. I feel like everyone, to an extent, I mean, there's people with narcolepsy and stuff. There's different conditions, but I feel like there's a sense of there is benefit for everyone to having an early start to the morning and building a routine in the morning. I mean, I had to wake up early for football all the time and I didn't like it. So I had a background of waking up early, but on the weekends or any other time, like I'd wake up super late. Like in high school, I'd wake up at like noon on a weekend, which is absolutely insane. But not waking up early not only like helps you to start your day and helps you have that structure, but it just helps you to accomplish more during the day.
It does. And like for me personally, I love writing out a to-do list. And so if waking up early is the first thing on my to-do list, I'm like, wow, I was productive. I did what I said I was going to do. And it just helps you with your day. It just makes you feel better about yourself and things like that. Yeah.
And then you get into a rhythm where like your body starts to feel and develop the rhythm that you're in, and you get to a point where you can wake up. I'm not at this point yet where you can wake up like when you're before your alarm does, or you don't even need an alarm.
This morning we did, given it was 8:15.
Yeah.
But we both woke up before our alarm. I was like, wow.
But your body starts to realize, okay, this is the time I go to bed. This time I wake up. I think that mostly works though when you have like a strict schedule of going to bed at a certain time, waking up.
And it never fluctuates. Yeah.
It never fluctuates. So that may be kind of hard, but, yeah, it just said having a morning routine helps. So I would encourage people to not be so stuck in the way of saying, well, I'm just not a morning person, and just try it out and it'll take a little bit to try to get into that rhythm. But I would encourage people who may not necessarily want to wake up that early to just, maybe it's like 30, 45 minutes before you typically wake up.
Right.
Yeah.
And we'll go into our own personal routines because yes, we live together, but we have very different morning routines.
Yeah.
Just because of our schedules, work, all of those good things. But you do have to realize that just because my routine looks one way, it doesn't mean yours has to look exactly like mine, and vice versa. That's the beauty in it, is you want to find things that you love, things that make you happy, things that are healthy choices. And once you see the benefits and you reap the benefits of it, you'll really start enjoying it and you'll make it a habit. And then you'll just be like, wow, I'm so excited for my morning routine. Like I'm so excited to go to bed and wake up in the morning and do this, this, and this. And your morning could start at 7 or 8 and Justus's could start at 5. And you both have really productive mornings. It doesn't have to be, oh, early bird gets the worm. I'm going to wake up at 4 a.m. every single day just to beat everyone else. Yeah. And it's like, no, it doesn't have to be like that at all.
Yeah.
So
speaking of crazy schedules though, I read this to you the other day, but Mark Wahlberg's schedule. I don't know if anybody has read Mark Wahlberg's schedule, but I have it pulled up here, and I want to.
Let's hear it. It's crazy. If you don't know who Mark Wahlberg is, he's an actor and big into fitness and health. So yeah, look him up if you don't know who he is. So 2:30 a.m. wake up. Unreal.
2:45 a.m. prayer. 3:15 breakfast. 3:40 to 5:15 workout. 5:30 a.m. post workout meal. 6 a.m. shower, 7:30 golf, 8 a.m. snack, 9:30 cryo chamber recovery, 10:30 a.m. snack.
Does he have a cryo chamber in his house?
Probably. He's a millionaire. So
yeah,
probably
why am I questioning that? That's sick.
He has a gym in his house. So 11 a.m. family time, meetings, and work calls. So that's all. The dude plays golf.
Isn't it still dark outside?
Yeah. I mean, wait, what time does he play golf? 7:30. No, it's not that dark.
I mean, I don't know about you, but like we're falling back right now, or we're about to, and it's dark when I wake up at 7.
Yeah, well, he plays golf when you're sleeping.
You know, we should have brought Mark Wahlberg on the podcast because I have so many questions.
But yeah, he wakes up at 2:30. He plays golf. He works out, eats breakfast, cryo chamber therapy, recovers.
Chamber therapy, awesome.
But he goes to bed at like 7:30.
Right.
So there's like the trade-off because you have to supplement somewhere.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Like I would love. Wish he was here because I have so many questions about that. Like, so when his family goes on vacation,
what does he do?
How often does he stick to that? And like the one day you go to bed at 10 p.m. because you're at a party with friends, like he's famous.
Oh yeah. And I'm sure he's traveling for like,
in
terms of working on set and stuff. Everything. Like there's no way that he can get to bed at 7:30 every single day.
You know, maybe he's like in the contract, 7:30. Maybe I have to go to bed.
Yeah, maybe all his stuff is at 7:30.
Well,
but what we're saying is that it doesn't really have to look this. It doesn't have to look like that.
Mine is not looking like that.
For me, I enjoy having longer amounts of time in the morning, a little bit, not 2:30 a.m. That's not.
But you wake up earlier than the average person our age.
I try to wake up earlier just because there are certain things that in the morning that I like to prioritize. And the one thing I do hate, and I talked about this too with my coworkers the other day, is the fact of waking up and going straight to work. I feel like there has to be, at least for me, having that work-life balance of having like separation in the morning between waking up and going straight to my computer. Because a lot of the times, like work, unfortunately, is like one of the last things I do before I go to bed. So I don't just want to be in like a vicious cycle of just closing my eyes, waking up, going to computer, closing my eyes, waking up, going to a computer. So having that time in the morning, those couple hours actually helps me to feel like I'm having like another day before I start my day.
And I think that's really important for just every single person to do, is differentiate work from home, like work in life and work from home. Because even if you are working from home physically, you still need to wake up early and do things that you enjoy. Because if your life is work and only work, I don't know anyone that works well for, like mentally and physically. That's just going to wear you down. And there's just so much joy that can be found in a separation and doing something for yourself instead of being like, oh, got to go to work. I don't know many people, kind of what we were saying earlier. I don't know many people who love their job so much that they would do it without getting paid. Yeah. And so like most people enjoy their job. Hopefully, I hope you enjoy your job. But it's hard to find a job that you enjoy. And so if you're only doing a job that you don't enjoy all day, every day, and then sleeping, you're going to be an unhappy person.
Exactly. And even if you do like really enjoy your job, you're not just built for that. And obviously like you could find your joy and you could find enjoyment in your job, but as humans, we're created for community as well. So having community with other people, having, physical activity, things like that, other areas that like you can't just find full fulfillment in one thing in your life, because it's not going to be enough for you.
Absolutely.
So
let's hear about your schedule, Justus.
With that, we can go into
our
schedules.
I got to think about mine. I didn't prep this, but.
So I wake up at 1 a.m. No.
Incorrect. You'd have 1 hour of sleep.
Yeah. Well, so I wake up at, it depends on the day. So it depends if I have a 9:30 or a 9 a.m. start, if I'm going to the office or not. Typically, I wake up somewhere between 4:30 and 5:30, sometime between then. So probably around 5 is like the average. I wake up, I try not to wake you up.
I wake up every day.
Which doesn't work all the time because
every single time.
Like I mentioned before, I have not gotten to the point where I can wake up without an alarm. So
let's talk about alarms really quick.
And
okay, so Justus's alarm is probably the worst option on the iPhone, and he turns it up.
Was it like atomic bomb on
the way? He turns it up all the freaking way. And like, keep in mind, my phone is not even in the room because I have my Hatch and I love it. And I'm trying to get Justus to get one.
The Hatch is great, but I just need something to wake me up more. Yours are like the sounds of like birds chirping.
Yeah,
and
it's
that's
so peaceful.
It's not going to wake me up. Because sometimes when you wake up before me on a weekend or something, when you have to go somewhere, I don't hear like I could wake up by myself, like go get breakfast, come back, and then I look and I see that your
Apple Watch.
I see that your Hatch is still going off like 6 hours later. And I'm like, I couldn't even hear that.
You should wear that because then it'll alert you without waking me up. Anyways, every single morning I wake up then too, and the second he gets out of bed, I roll over to his side. I don't know if it's because there's like a hole on his side of the bed because he's heavy.
Wow, thank you.
Because
well,
I
anyway.
don't know what it is. But I wake up too. Unfortunately, it's really annoying.
I wake up.
But I love it for you.
I wake up, put on my workout stuff, and then I usually come into the living room, and that's when I usually read my Bible. So I do that because I've gone back and forth a little bit between whether or not I want to read my Bible before I work out and after. I feel like doing it before just helps me mentally to like say to physically action saying that I want God and His Word to be the priority for it to start off my day.
Are you awake though? Like, do you genuinely feel like you're awake when you're
It takes
reading?
a minute sometimes. Sometimes I have to like...
Because you don't drink coffee.
No, I don't drink coffee. Sometimes I have to like walk around a little bit or like kind
slap your face.
Yeah. Or like, or put cold water on my face. Like it takes me a minute sometimes to like get fully awake and stuff. But for the most part, I'm awake because I've gotten kind of used to this timing. Yeah. But I've gone back and forth between, doing this after I work out or before. And I think it's before because like I said, I like to start off my mornings reading the Word. And then I feel like after I just don't have the time. So I feel like I'm really rushing it. And the one thing I don't want to rush is spending time with God.
Yeah.
So I think that, so I wake up, I read my Bible. I do that probably for about 30-ish minutes or so. I'm trying to do it for longer, which means I have to get up earlier, unfortunately. Yeah. But I try to do that for about 30 minutes a day. So at that point, it's like 5:30, and then I head to the gym. I probably don't start working out till like 5:45 or 6. Why are you laughing?
I can't say this on the podcast. Never mind.
Let's just say that pre-work. I think I've said this before.
Oh, you're right. He spends 30 minutes on the toilet before working out.
It's a pre-workout, man.
And he claims that he's just scrolling through TikTok, and I'm like, no, you're not.
So yeah, it's
You're
the pre-workout. So I
multitasking.
take so that's a great point. I take the pre-workout before I go to the gym. Usually I'm not starving before, so I usually get like a bar, like a rice cake or something. And yes, I go to
So gross.
I go to the bathroom about 20 minutes on my phone and
You're
stuff.
like, I'm not kidding. Like when we go to the gym together,
Not
Justus,
20.
I have a full warm-up session, especially
Wow.
for like leg day. I'm warming
Really?
up there for 15 minutes, and you're still
And
not
I'm
out there.
doing it for you. I'm giving you the opportunity
I
to
appreciate that,
activate
babe.
and
Yeah, I appreciate that.
So I probably get started, let's say around 6,
Give or take.
give or take. So then I work out. Leg days are usually about an hour and a half. Upper body days are about an hour 45, 2 hours. So at that point, it's like 7:30, 7:45.
No, mister. You come home at 7:45 earliest.
Well, yeah, that's why I said at that point, it's like 7:30, 7:45. I haven't left yet.
Back in the day, it used to be, he was like, yeah, I'll be home at 7:30. And so I'd wake up accordingly so I could spend time.
Well, because more recently I've started to work from home a little bit more. So,
True.
but the days
That's
I go
true.
into the office, I like to get back here by 7:30.
Yeah.
So backtracking of whatever that means for me to wake up early to get back here by 7:30. After that, I make my shake, take my vitamins and all that, make breakfast, or you make breakfast, and I think we can talk about this in a little bit more detail of like why we do this in the morning, but that's when we usually spend our like hour together every morning. But we can go into detail after you give your your routine. But then I do that, go to work.
That's your morning.
And yeah, that
You've
is
got
my
a
morning.
You know how people on TikTok and videos
Yeah.
are saying like my 5 to 9 before my 9 to 5?
Yeah.
You truly have a solid 5 to 9.
I do have a 5 to 9.
You do. It's a really good routine.
Yeah.
And like, honestly, truthfully, Justus will go even if he's sick, because we've talked about it before. It's something that makes you genuinely happy. Like your alone time in the morning with the Lord
Yeah.
is not going to get interrupted. And your time in the gym is the time for you. You can listen to a podcast, new music, whatever.
And that's the thing too. Like a lot of people have things that help that they need to kind of like, clear their head, like clear their mind. For me, that's working out. So I'm not always just like listening to like rap music. I'm not always just
Right.
listening to like, sometimes I'm listening to sermons. Sometimes I'm listening to interviews. I'm listening to podcasts, and it's just like having time for me to just, not have to think about anything.
Yeah. And I just admire you for it. You're very determined.
Oh, thank you.
Very determined. And like, I know a lot of people say, oh, this is my morning routine. And then it's not actually their morning routine. Like they just want that to be their morning routine.
Yeah.
Like I can truthfully say the routines that we're telling you guys are legitimately what we're doing.
Yeah, every
Because-
single day.
Yeah, literally every single day. And weekends look a little different, but honestly, wake up early, quiet time, gym. Like we stick to that pretty much.
Yeah, it may just be pushed back a little bit
Yeah,
for the weekends.
to
But
sleep a little.
after you, Miss Aesthetically Morning Person.
I do. Okay, so Justus didn't understand the term manifesting, but it's like a huge
I know what
thing.
manifesting
But
means,
you don't
but I just don't know what it
understand it in
means
the
in the
term-
context of
Yeah.
like manifesting your morning.
And I explained it to you so well. How did I explain it in the car? I was saying you're manifesting because like I'm manifesting a good day through my
Through
strict
your
morning
strict-
routine.
okay, yeah,
That's what I
that-
mean.
that makes-
So I have made a morning routine. It's looked a little different here and there just cause with timing and things that I have to do, and sunlight honestly is affecting a lot of it too. But so I wake up at either 7 or 7:30. That kind of depends on Justus's schedule because I like to do my quiet time before he comes home. So if you're working at the office, I wake up at 7. So I give myself that extra 30 minutes. So I wake up at 7 and I chug water because you are very dehydrated overnight. So chug water because I know I'm having coffee or bone broth after that. So then as of recently, because bone broth is so expensive, I've just been drinking coffee or my greens. So I'll make my coffee, sit on the couch, do my quiet time with the Lord, whatever that looks like, prayer, journaling, worship, devotional, whatever it looks like. I like to do that for 30 minutes to an hour. And I do it up until the point that you walk back in the door. I forgot to mention, I brush my teeth and I do my skincare.
Well, yeah, I brush my teeth too.
And I wash my face depending on when I'm going to the gym.
Yeah.
But sorry, I forgot about that.
Yes, we brush our teeth here.
Thank goodness we're not stinky breath people. So then Justus comes in the door, and then I know that like I can finish my quiet time after he goes to work. So I'm not stressed to like finish it right then and there. But pretty much the second he walks in the door, I stop whatever I'm doing so that we can have that 1 hour, because we don't know what the rest of the afternoon and night is going to look like with quality time together. And quality time is like such a big thing for us. Honestly, it should be a big thing for any relationship, but we know that that morning hour is what we're going to get together. So you walk through the door, we just chit chat, kind of go over our quiet time, what it looked like, what we have for the day. You're probably showering. I'm probably making breakfast. You're getting ready. I'm just hanging with you, chit chatting. We eat together. And then you head out for work, and I either finish my quiet time or get ready for the gym, and then I go to the gym.
Nice.
And that's my morning routine.
So do we want to go into a little bit more detail of what that looks like our hour together? Because I feel like, I know that you talked about it a little bit, but I feel like it's very important, at least to me, because
we never miss it.
We never really miss it. And I think it happened naturally. I don't even think we like really planned this being like
so it's
a
when
thing.
I didn't have a job for 3 months when I moved here. And I literally had no schedule for the day, which I enjoyed because I got to work around your schedule. And so I'm such we're both quality time people. So I knew that we needed some time and it wasn't happening at night.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm going to wake up earlier to hang out with him because I've always enjoyed waking up early.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to wake up early, stick with that. And yeah, like you said, it's just really pure intentional time that we have together. And I love it.
Yeah. And I think it's really important just for our relationship. Like you mentioned before, that's an opportunity where I had my quiet time this morning. And honestly, like Camryn knows, I come back. It's I the gym is like my time to also think. So I come back with like the most random or something ideas every single time I come back.
You came back from the gym with the idea for the podcast.
Yes, I did. That was a post gym idea. So I have all these crazy ideas when I come back, and
you do.
You ask me. You've gotten to the point where you just ask me what did you think of today?
And he'll be like, I think we should get a dog, or I think we should move. That's the best. I think we should move. And I'm like, we're here till April, honey. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Or we should do this weekend. It's just the most obscure things, but I love it.
Yeah, that's the time when I get to think the most. So I come back and I have all these ideas. So we do that for a little bit.
We debrief.
Yeah, but we talk about also like my quiet time, what God has been teaching me, what God has been teaching you. Just talking about what our plan is for the day, if we have anything coming up after work or anything that you have coming up. But yeah, it's really like intentional because we try to like sit down, even if it's just like 10 minutes after we make breakfast, to sit down and just talk to each other. I
think the coolest part about it is we're actually talking right now with our community group about spiritual intimacy. And I think it's really beautiful how Justus has his own quiet time. I have my own quiet time, but then we reconvene in the morning still and really get to debrief. Not every day. We're not saying we're perfect and ask each other what the Lord's doing in our lives every day. No, by no means are we doing that every day. But it could just be the type of thing where like, oh, I was journaling this morning and I think I'm really struggling with this. Like, could you be praying over me? And it like, that could be it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And it's just a nice way to start your morning and start it off with your person and get to know them better, get to see what's really going on with them, because seasons of life can be really good or really difficult, and they're always changing. And so just like catching up, because we can't really do that during the week, but our 1 hour every morning is when we get to do that.
Yeah. Or like when we're studying the Bible together, like when we study Revelation, we did that right after I worked out. So we had like time to do that. Or like you said before, we have things where we talk about is like, oh, can you pray for this for me? And if I'm going to the office, like on my way to work is usually the time I pray. So it's like, I already know like what to pray for you about and everything. So it's very helpful. And I feel like it's helped us grow together as a couple of just starting off our day on the right path together. So there's no just like we're on one path together. We're not like on two separate roads.
We're checking in with each other and stuff.
But I'm curious for you though, in terms of you mentioned before that you didn't have a job in like those 3 months. Even now with your job, it's a little bit more flexible where you don't have like a set time to start. So this is probably the case for some people out there too, or people who don't have a job. Like, how do you stay motivated to have a morning routine when you don't have you don't have a deadline to be like, if I don't finish my routine by 10 o'clock, then I won't be able to do the things that I want to do in the morning. So it kind of pushes your motivation to kind of say, oh, I can just do this whenever during the day.
So honestly, if I didn't have a morning routine, I don't think I would have any motivation to like wake up early in the mornings. But for me, it's a weird thing, but I have always cherished like the 6 or 7 o'clock wake up, because I feel like I'm waking up before everyone else. I feel like it's the uninterrupted time. I feel like I'm not missing anything on my phone or missing anything that's happening. And so it's just like, I get that peaceful, quiet time to myself with the Lord. And honestly, it's the best, because I know the earlier I wake up, the longer my coffee time can be, the longer my quiet time could be, the longer of a walk I get to go on. And so I think just finding like my days get busy. Like I know it sounds silly, but like going to the store or going to work out or going to see a friend or going to make an extravagant lunch or an extravagant dinner, like your days really can get filled. Like when I wasn't working, my day would start at 11:30 or 12.
Yeah.
I was up since 7, but I've just been either cleaning or doing laundry or quiet time, calling a friend, calling my mom, walking, and then I'll go to the gym after that. So I think that it's just nice because I am motivated to get movement in because it makes me feel best. And I love it to clear my head. I love it to catch up with people. That's what really motivates me. I'm like, okay, wake up earlier. Then you get to have all the time in the world to do what you want to do. And so that's just kind of how I looked at it. Even if you think that there's nothing to do that day, there is. Go start a new book. Go to the bookstore. Go peruse around. Find a book that you're interested in. Bring it home. Read it. Go lay out. Go walk for an hour. Clean your house. Every house could be cleaned like every single day. I know ours could. Find a new hobby. Just really try the day before or the morning of to just write down a to-do list. That helps me because I'm not hard on myself. I rarely ever finish the to-do list, but it's just like, okay, I'm having all my thoughts up here that are scrambled and I'm getting them down on paper and I feel motivated and I feel productive once I have those things written down and once I do all those things. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, no, that was an
very
amazing
elaborate,
answer.
very elaborate response. But
no, that was very good.
Because I am not always motivated, especially to go to the gym. I'm not always motivated, and so what helps me is having a great morning routine that I really enjoy and I'm excited to do.
It's that mindset of like externally, there may not be, but like putting in those mental guardrails of putting structure into your life helps you to have more control over it. And it makes you feel more productive too, when you may not necessarily have things externally that are like, that you have as like deadlines or things that you have as like things that you really need to do. But even in the midst of that, there's still ways that you can kind of keep your schedule busy and continue to grow, whether that's in a new hobby, whether that's spiritually, whether that's physically, mentally. There's always opportunities to grow.
Absolutely. So it's been great. And those are our morning routines. Like we said, yours doesn't have to look like ours, but maybe just for some inspiration. You can also get tons of inspiration on TikTok and Pinterest. I mean, good night. People are posting those things like crazy.
Like you.
Yeah, I was about to say, I actually do post those things. But it's fun to watch. Like, I love seeing what people do with their mornings and with their time. Yeah. Honestly. But we did want to give you guys some practical tips for a good morning, just so you're not overwhelmed by everything that we said. What's the first one, Justus?
The first one is what you had mentioned before about drinking a lot of water. And because obviously your body's very dehydrated when you wake up in the morning.
You're going minimum or maximum 8 hours of no liquids, no fluids or anything. Exactly. So you're dehydrated when you wake up.
So drinking lots of water is very, very important. And it wakes you up in the morning. So, and you can kind of extract this to be more higher level of just like start your morning off healthy, whether that's like the bone broth that you drink in the morning, drinking lots of water, like doing something that helps like stimulate your health in a positive way.
Right. Like don't go straight for the coffee.
Don't go straight for the pre-workout all the time.
You're just doing yourself a disservice by dehydrating yourself more.
Yeah. But I think that's one.
How much would you say? How much water? I would say
I don't know
a glass. Amount. I would say like a whole glass of water. I know people that put it on their nightstand and don't touch it till the morning and they chug it. They don't get out of bed till they chug it. Yeah. Just for like help. And my water either stays on my nightstand and then I bring it into the bathroom. And then after I brush my teeth, I chug the water. I like to have my Stanley and see how much I chug. What?
Drinking cold water after brushing your teeth?
You have like nasty breath chugging water in the morning. That like tastes gross to me.
Oh, what? Yeah.
Ew. Okay. Ew. Drink tons of water. But I do love that. Okay. So I love this one because I don't keep my phone in the room.
I do.
Which I have found to be very helpful. Yeah. I love it. It makes my mornings so much more peaceful because I'm not in the world. I saw this corny quote. It was like, be in the word before you're in the world.
Yeah, that's so corny. But it's true.
But it's true.
But it's true. A lot of the corny stuff, it's like you got to get over the Pinterest cringy, like putting it in and like actually just think about it, which makes sense. Like you want to start your day off and you want to have stuff in your mind that's going to benefit you and grow you spiritually and closer with your relationship with God rather than just
being sucked into
scrolling
the world
on
immediately.
which I've been a victim to too. Like there's not every single day I don't automatically just go straight to my Bible. Some days I do scroll on Instagram and stuff. So
and it wastes your time.
I'm guilty of that as well.
Me
So
too.
not to say that like that's what we do, because I definitely go on my phone in the morning.
Yeah, it's hard.
Sometimes.
So, okay, I don't even think I said tip number 2.
Yeah.
I just saw it and was going on a rant. Don't snooze your alarm and don't look at your phone when you wake up. So,
Which 2 things that I do? Well, the phone
Yes, you
thing
do.
I don't do as much. The snooze thing, it's crazy because I get into the habit. When you start, it's hard to stop. So I got to start breaking that habit again. I had a good run for a while, but recently I've been starting to snooze.
you did have a good run for a while. What happened?
I just got tired.
Oh man.
But we talked about, and sorry, I'm like taking over here. Do you have anything to say?
No, go. I'll say more after. Go for it.
I was going to say we had the podcast, the sleep podcast, and then how actually harmful it is to snooze your alarm, because it's like putting you back into that deep sleep for such a short period of time.
Yeah.
When you hit snooze, and then you're just like snapping yourself out of another
not
deep sleep.
beneficial at all.
And it's not beneficial, which makes you more tired after hitting the snooze.
Yeah. So thankfully, I'm not a snooze girl. The reason I have been is because of you.
Oh, brother.
Like on the weekends, like when we're sleeping in on the weekends, you hit snooze and I'm like, well, he hit snooze. Might as well go back to bed, but it's bad. Don't do it. Just be productive and start your day. So do not snooze your alarm and do not look at your phone. I've just found the mornings when I look at my phone immediately, I am absolutely sucked into it, because there is just an endless amount of apps and an endless amount of content and posts and everything that I personally get sucked into, and I feel very strongly that everyone else does too. And I just really choose not to look at my phone. And if I do look at my phone, it's normally to see if like anyone in my family or if Justus or anyone has reached out to me that something's wrong, or, just because you have to when I don't live near my family or near your family or anything. So I look at it really quick and then I immediately put it down. So I love it. When I start my mornings like that, it just makes me feel so much better. So I encourage all of you to try that. I know a lot of people are saying, well, what about my alarm? There's many things that you can do, but the first thing you can do is just turn off your alarm on your phone if it's on your bedside table, and then leave your phone there. Do not pick it up. Go brush your teeth. Go do your morning skincare. Go drink your coffee. Leave your phone in the bedroom, so then you're not tempted to go back and look at it until after. So there's practical ways you can do it. And I know people are just looking for excuses, but I promise this is one thing that I feel so passionately about, because it has made me enjoy my mornings so much more. Okay, number 3.
The third one is to do something that stimulates your mind and your body. And I would add like your spirit, or spiritually as well. Or at least from our perspective of spiritually, as in growing closer with your relationship with Christ. But I think stimulating your mind, whether that's, I know a lot of elderly people who do like crosswords and stuff in the morning, even something simple like that to just get your mind going. It doesn't even have to be that. It can be reading a book. It can be reading your Bible, but just something to kind of get your mind to think, rather than just like mindlessly and aimlessly scrolling on stuff like you're saying on Instagram. So to help just slowly wake your brain up to get it ready for the day. And then something for your body. So that's working out, having exercise and movement. And it doesn't have to be a 2-hour gym session. It doesn't have to be like a CrossFit workout class. It can be literally going on a 15-minute walk in the morning.
Or it could be rolling out of bed, getting on your floor and stretching.
Exactly.
Like movement does not have to look like a Q workout set in an hour-long walk at all. It does not. Get on your floor, stretch, put on some peaceful music, be alone with yourself, and take 5 minutes of yourself to do that. Because it'll just make you feel so much better, so much more awake, and it'll just help you have a productive day, if nothing else. So those are our 3 tips. The first one, drink tons of water. Second, don't snooze your alarm or look at your phone. Third, do something to stimulate your mind, body, and or spirit. And I think that those are all practical, and we can make them a habit starting tomorrow.
And something you can always get better at. And you don't have to be perfect at it every single time. It doesn't have to look the same for everyone. So start somewhere. That's the important thing. Don't make excuses. Start somewhere.
Absolutely. And it's just to benefit you. No one else. Just to benefit you. So thank you guys so much for listening. We hope that this podcast was good for all of the listeners. We hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.